Simon & Schuster Audio presents The Fifties, An Underground History by James R. Gaines. Read by James Fouhey.
For Miles and Hannah Pell, and grandchildren yet to be born. You have to be loyal to a dream country rather than to the one to which you wake up every morning. Unless such loyalty exists, the ideal has no chance of becoming actual. Richard Rorty, Achieving Our Country, 1998. Introduction. Seeing in the Dark. On April 16th, 1945, 4 days after President Franklin Delano Roosevelt's sudden death, Allen Ginsberg and his friend Joan Vollmer, along with millions of other Americans, turned on the radio to hear President Harry Truman's first speech to the nation. Coverage in the next day's newspapers, though darkened by FDR's death, gave Truman credit for clear-headed resolve as the nation faced the last acts of World War II. Outside Washington, D.C. and Missouri, however, most people had never heard Truman speak, and his Midwestern twang could not have been less like FDR's familiar mid-Atlantic lilt. At some point during the speech, Vollmer said their new president sounded like a provincial salesman. What kind of president is that? Years later, Ginsberg remembered how surprised he was by that remark, by the idea that anyone would denigrate the President of the United States, someone he had always thought to be the noblest and best of Americans. That the future poet laureate of the Beat generation could have this reaction is a measure of just how long ago this was, how young the 19-year-old Allen Ginsberg was, before the end of the world came in sight. 3 months later, at the White Sands Proving Ground in south-central New Mexico, the first test of the atomic bomb ignited a light with the intensity many times that of the midday sun. It lighted every peak, crevasse, and ridge of the nearby mountain range with a clarity and beauty that cannot be described. The energy of the blast melted the desert floor and left a light green crater of radioactive glass 10 feet deep and 1,000 feet across. By the time President Truman heard that the test had been successful, he was in Potsdam with Stalin and Churchill at the war's last Big Three conference. 3 weeks later, when the atomic...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?